Recording in progress.
This public meeting is now called to order. There are no chair member committee reports, no mail or messages, no public inquiries, no minutes to approve. Schedule of hearings is 28 Curtis Hill Road and New Spencer Road.
Can you call public inquiries again? I think we might have one. We didn't have any at the time of posting, but
Which one of these? I couldn't hear
number
you.
3.
The public inquiries.
Public inquiries?
Yes, I have a public inquiry,
Okay,
please, if you don't mind.
so. Your
Just to
name,
state your name
please?
for the record.
Erica Horniak, 5L Stevens Road, Charlton. It's in regard to 0L Stevens Road, which is a lot that they're excavating right now, just getting flattened out for some new building. And I just found that some things are a little bit confusing, so I printed out some photographs for you. Obviously, I don't expect anybody to be there 24/7, but because it's next to me. So there's absolutely no silt fences except for my side, where we abut the property. And I'm a little bit concerned about that for the vernal pool that we certified, that I worked very hard on certifying. And the reason why that's concerning to me is because of the absolute mountains that they are making. There's about 4 of those now today, and this started about 3 days ago. And I'm just concerned about that, considering the order of conditions underneath erosion control and stabilization. There's a lot of things here that don't seem to be making a lot of sense to a lot of the stuff I'm seeing. And a lot of times the wattles aren't even in place during a lot of the construction that's going on with excavating the soil. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention. It's a little bit disheartening. Some of the conditions here include that the construction area shall remain in a stable condition at the close of each construction day. All disturbed or exposed soil surfaces shall be temporarily stabilized with straw, mulch, or other methods approved by the USDA Soil Conservation Service. Erosion control shall be inspected daily, replaced immediately if required, and remain in place until all areas have been stabilized. Removal of the erosion controls will require an approval of the commission or its director, and shall not occur until all work has been completed and the site's been revegetated. No, 27, an adequate stockpile of erosion control materials. There's only what's there. A lot of it is not there at all. There's 3 entire silt fences that are not there. Shall be on site at all times for emergency, routine, replacement. And we could even go down to grading, landscaping, and slope in number 31. All disturbed areas, slopes, and proposed landscape areas shall be loamed and seeded or stabilized through the use of erosion control blankets or approved means. I'm just concerned because it does look pretty rainy out, and I didn't know how long this would be going on for. They've been working at it pretty good. I don't know the time frame on these, but they're pretty big at this point, the amount of soil and debris that's being built up. And a lot of it is getting pretty close to the road here. We live right at the corner there of Route 20, so I do have some concerns about safety with that, and I also have some concerns about the vernal pool, which I just put an arrow to because I really thought that they would have put at least a silt fence there. Instead, we have wattles that people have literally been driving on with excavators. And the ones up here are often not even there. So I don't know what's going on here, but it would be nice if there was some silt fences, just saying.
May I use your picture so I can answer your concerns?
Yeah.
So for the erosion, for the wattles on this area, this has been placed 90 feet from that's where the commission approved, so that's the limit of work. The plan does call for silt fence. They put in wattles because they believe that it was a flat set. They can put the silt fence back there, it's not an issue. But just, I was there today, has not been removed, has not been driven by, is the exact location, has not been disturbed, just one.
It has been driven on, and you can see it in the picture that
I was there to maybe
it's
they.
been crushed multiple times with
Yeah,
vehicles.
so in this initial phasing of construction, a lot happens because they are trying to work with their machinery within the limit of work.
Sure.
So sometimes they might disturb the erosion controls like we see, sometimes they might remove some of them. So in the area that you're concerned that has been removed, which is if you're looking at the construction site, to your left, to your right side,
Yeah.
that's your concern, right?
Well, they
What
have,
is this?
they do replace them at the end of the day, which
Right.
is in the order of conditions,
So, right, so,
that's fine.
but just for the record, the plans do not require erosion control on this side.
Okay,
Because, number one, for the first, number one reason, it slopes up, if you
yeah,
notice.
I understand that, yeah,
So-
yeah,
And there's no resource area to be protected.
Yeah.
But yet they put in the waters just to kind of, there are a lot of workers that come and go. So sometimes they use the waters to define property line or the boundaries of work. So those are the waters they saw them removing because they needed the space to put the stumps that they have removed.
it's fine.
But was within their area of
Yeah,
work.
and
Yeah.
my main concern really is the fact that they're building such large, 20 to 30 feet
What
tall
about the pile?
slopes.
So the pile, it's a phase, so they cannot stabilize a pile while they're working on that day. The regulations say if it's 7 days,
Actually, in the order conditions, it doesn't say that, it says daily.
right. Well, it has to be controlled.
Yep,
But it's
That's
just
my
a,
concern.
right, it's just a phase that they're right now
Yeah,
removing out.
it's-
Just in the next few days, you'll be going from there. But again, as I said, the pile, they put it in a place where it's uphill. And if it is to be eroding anywhere, it's not gonna affect the resource area.
it may or may not, without
it
any
will
sort
not.
of protection or erosion control, we
It
don't
will
know
not.
that, and the
It will
ones that
not
are
because
very close.
he is, and not to mention that this pile is out of my jurisdiction just to begin with.
Out of your jurisdiction,
Yeah.
erosion controls for conservation?
For the, so this is the 90-foot buffer, right, this waters?
I'm trying to protect a certified vernal pool, ma'am.
Right.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
So the waters are placed at 90 feet.
Yep, I know that,
So,
but there should be a silt fence, that's what the
and
plan
I will
said.
request the silt fence, that's fine.
That's all I'm requesting is a silt
Yeah,
fence to
what I'm
protect.
trying to address, you had the concern about the pile. The pile is outside the 100-foot buffer.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about where it is, I'm concerned
Right.
about what it could do. There's multiple at this
And
point.
for a peace of mind, in case you're not aware, the slopes, the grade of the site runs towards the street.
I know, but that's
Okay.
also the concern that I have with there being no protection of those in the
Right,
front
and that's the
as
next,
well.
the next thing that was gonna bring it up. There are waters at the entrance, and those you're gonna be seeing them moving and putting back, but because they have to access the site. But at the end of every day, every work day, they must be replaced. They must, not replaced, they must be put back
Yeah.
into place.
And they are, and I'm not
And
saying
they
they're
are,
not.
yeah.
I'm just concerned about
So-
there being 4 to 5 that are
Yep.
no longer in the back as much. They've made a few in the front towards the street.
Yeah,
And it does
and-
cool
and-
considerably when it does
Right.
rain. I'm a little bit concerned about that.
So they're gonna deal with any runoff as it occurs.
Yeah.
It is staff, they cannot direct it to the road
Yeah,
either,
yeah. I'm
because
just
they're
trying to
the
be
one.
proactive because
Yep, and
we
they-
have absolutely no culvert or stormwater
Right,
for the
on
bottom
the
there.
road, right.
And I get concerned because that is where somebody had a fatal car accident in May of 2022.
That's why they cannot direct it to the road. So as of right now, they are in compliance. I'll request the silt fence at the back because the plan did call for silt fence, but they only put the wattles.
I don't feel
Um,
that they're in compliance, and I agree to disagree. I find that it does state that they're supposed to have erosion controls daily placed at the end of the day at the bottom of soil that's been
But they
aggravated.
are.
It says it multiple times.
Yeah.
There's not, though.
Of this,
There's many giant piles. Really, there's 1, 2, 3, and there's a 4th one now.
yes.
That's a lot without even a silt fence, with a little tiny wattle that's about
They can
this big
add
in size.
so because it's moving constantly, so I give it the discretion of the contractor, as I said, they cannot be, as you may say, I cannot be there every day, but at their discretion, they cannot allow that to run on the street. They might not be doing it now because it is outside the buffer, so they're playing at their risk, but, I'll run by them and make sure that they are aware that cannot let anything get on the road, so.
Okay.
Yeah, we're watching and I
just
appreciate the
wanted to
emails,
bring my
and,
concern to
if
you guys.
anything else,
Through,
yeah.
through the chair, could we get copies of those for the,
I have.
for the members? Or you
It's on
have
the
those
email.
pictures?
I have on the email.
I can,
Okay.
I can
Yep.
actually give you these because there is one photo that I didn't send you, just for your, because I have these, so
I have in color. You can keep
whatever
it.
you guys
Yep.
want, I don't mind.
Yep,
Okay. Thank you.
you're
You're
welcome. Oh, I think that was from your part.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
DEP 128-1923, 28 Curtis Hill Road and New Spencer Road.
We'll be continuing to, when is the next one? October 9th.
I'll make a motion to continue to October 9th.
Need a motion, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. 128-1851, 16 Sturbridge Road.
We will continue to October 9th.
I need a motion to continue.
Motion to continue.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. DP 128-1938, 35 North Main Street.
We'll be continuing to October 9th.
I need a motion to continue the hearing.
Motion to continue the hearing.
Need a
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. 128-1945, 4 Oxford Road.
We'll be continuing to October 9th.
I need a motion to continue.
Motion to continue to October 9th.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Sanders Hill Road, parcel ID 77-C-8.
Hi, Marianne, would you like to present?
Yes, Marion DePinto, Three Oaks Environmental for, Chris Hansen is also available. The intent is to put down a steel plate across the brook for perk testing on the opposite side of the brook. So it's strictly no impact to the land and the water or the banks in order to get a small excavator across the stream into the 16 acres of upland on the other side of the stream in order to do perk testing.
What's the address there?
It's Sandersdale Road, and there is not an address, 'cause it's just a parcel.
At the corner of Blood Road.
Yeah, right on the corner.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Outside of Sandersdale.
There's actually two little streams there, isn't there?
Yes, there's actually a perennial stream that's parallel with Blood Road, and the stream that flows into it is depicted as intermittent on the USGS map. It appears that it becomes perennial as it nears the river, based on stream stats. But the crossing is proposed around wetland flag number 15.
14 and 15.
Which is, yeah, which is the intermittent section of that stream channel. And it's a one-day sort of thing. You cross, place the plate down, cross over, conduct perk tests in the field, or while it's wooded, on the opposite side of the stream. But there is at that point, there is evidence that there were ATVs out there, but it's also like an old cart path that is opposite that crossing. Judging by the tiny little pine trees, everything else is very large around it. It appears to be an old farm cart path or whatever, and the access will be over that.
Commissioner, have any question?
Anybody?
Seen it?
Yes, I was there, yeah. I just needed to confirm where exactly the crossing was being proposed, and we agreed that it was between flags 14 and 15. It is the purpose for just one-time perk testing, so they can cross to the other side. Any additional disturbance will be requiring notice of intent. Just have some special conditions that the work is to be completed, the crossing and the work are to be completed on the same day. The stream will be crossed with an excavator. The temporary crossing will be removed by lifting direct up and off the stream bank. Vegetation tree removal are not authorized under this determination. Notify the commission 48 hours before the work is starting. And any type of erosion that occurs to notify us or handle it. Pretty basic conditions, but most of it, there has to be one crossing on one day and be done with.
What are we going with, negative?
And I would recommend a negative determination with the conditions.
Okay, anybody on the board have questions about it? Anybody in the audience have any questions? I need a motion for a negative determination with an order of conditions.
I make a motion.
Special conditions.
Motion for negative determination with special conditions.
Second?
All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you so much.
Have a good
Until
night.
later.
Yep,
Bye now. You too.
bye.
Hunting area.
Partridge Hill Road, ID 70-A-4.
This was a request for determination to determine whether or not this is echoing. There were wetlands in the area, and it was found that they were isolated wetlands. So I would be recommending a negative determination.
Anybody on the board have any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions? I need a motion for a negative determination with an R in conditions.
No conditions.
No conditions,
It
okay.
doesn't- Yeah, it's not under our jurisdiction.
Motion for a negative determination.
In a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. 13 Partridge Hill Road.
This is after the fact filing, was the installation for a pre-built shed that was within, I would say, 15 feet from the border of vegetated wetlands. The shed has been installed, and I'm just have on the record that the filing was submitted, so I just need a negative determination with conditions.
I went down, looked at that, and
Yeah, it's a shed.
it's a nice shed.
Yeah.
Anybody else on the board have any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions? I need a motion for a negative determination. Any conditions?
Yes.
Okay, with an order of conditions.
What would the conditions be? You have any idea?
Oh, I already, because the work was already done, so I established the condition at the time. So they had some stones being placed
Yeah,
near,
yeah.
so those were a little removed because it was so close to the BVW. And the stones were placed to kind of level the area so the shed could be placed in. No erosion controls needed. The work is done.
Make a motion for a negative determination?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Lot 95, Robert Boulevard.
Oh. Yes. Come already? You can come sit over here. I don't have the phone. Yeah, you want that? Just state your name, please.
Jennifer Martinson.
So they submitted a request for determination of applicability to remove few trees, to brush clearing, and to place 100 square foot of gravel within South Charlton Reservoir, around 70 feet from the lake,
Yeah.
give or minus, yeah.
About 70 feet away
Yeah.
from the lake.
I was there at the parcel today. The trees were not marked, but I kind of,
We spray painted.
oh, you did? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Maybe I didn't locate it then, but I can make sure that I see them before the work started.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the
Anybody have
gravel?
any questions?
Yeah, what's the gravel for?
Parking?
Yes,
Yeah,
boat trailer.
Stuff like that.
Pretty flat.
Very flat, yeah, considerably
Flat
flat.
is good.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very good.
Yeah. They might propose something else in the future, but for the RDA, for now, that's all they're proposing. So if you don't have any question, I will be,
Anybody else have any questions, or anybody in the audience have any questions? Negative?
negative determination with conditions.
I need a negative determination with conditions.
I'll make that motion.
I need a
Second.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. 211 Sunset Drive.
Is this it?
You guys are good.
Thank you so much.
I'll probably have it ready for you by Monday. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome.
211 Sunset Drive.
Oh, this is what I brought in front of the commission last time for him to replace the missing stones from his retaining wall. So I consider to file an RDA instead of an NOI. There may be,
Yeah, I remember that.
remember the few stones that were missing, so he filed an RDA for that purpose. I would recommend negative determination with conditions.
Anybody on the board have any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions? I need a motion for a negative determination. Any?
With conditions.
With conditions, yeah.
Make a motion, negative determination with conditions.
Any a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Certificate of compliance, 60 Hill Road.
We will table that.
150 Richardson's Corner Road.
It was on our agenda for the last meeting. I was just waiting for them to remove erosion control, which has been done, so I would recommend a complete certificate of compliance.
I need a motion.
A motion to issue a certificate of compliance.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. 39 Davison Road.
Single-family home constructions, did a sign special last Friday. Erosion control is still in place, has been removed since, so I would recommend a complete certificate of compliance.
I need a motion for completion.
Motion for completion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Enforcement violation, 169 Sunset Drive.
Where are the pictures? I received a complaint related to a retaining wall repair, Glen Echo Lake. I issued I'm sorry, I don't have the pictures. I issued, letter of possible violation. The resident, contacted me, might be on my desk. And, she told me she would be stopping filing the notice of intent, which she started the process with Dale. And somewhere in the middle of the process, she chose not to file. I didn't know what the extent of the repair had occurred, so in my mind, she had just started and she stopped once I requested, sent the letter. Then I received a second complaint saying that the work was being continued, so that's when I went for a site inspection to look at it. And she continued the retaining wall, so the retaining wall was pretty much failing. It was like a wooden retaining wall, so what she did is 4 feet of stones in front of the wall into the lake to keep the wall from falling.
4 feet?
4 feet, yeah. No, what is it? I think so. Yeah, 4 feet, no, 4 foot stones, yeah. So the stones are in the lake.
You have no pictures of it.
Yes, I have it. I just didn't have with me there when you get it. Again, any type of activity in the lake requires the filing of a notice of intent, and we make everybody files. I feel at this point it would be an after-the-fact filing. Even if she chooses to remove the stones, she cannot remove without maybe an enforcement order if she chooses to do that. I don't know how the commission would like to vote, but you can pass around. It shows the few pictures with just some stones in the lake, and I highlighted the dates. And it's Chambers.
Next to
Chambers.
Chambers, in the Narrows, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, Barber's Park. Yeah, that's not helpful.
So this starts
Yeah.
like that, and they're the last one, when it's
Oh,
completed.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
she completed the entire,
It took her long enough, but yeah, okay.
yeah. Do you want to pass it around?
Yeah.
So the
Could you-
options, as we
Could you
always,
give me kind of a rough area as to where that is?
It's in the Narrows.
Huh?
in the
Narrows.
Far
narrows.
from Chambers.
In the
You know
Narrows?
Chambers?
I was gonna say near Chambers.
It's right
Yeah.
next door to Chambers,
Next
if you're
door.
looking at his
Which
house,
next door?
on the right.
The next house,
Looking from.
Looking at his house from the
To the
lake.
left.
On the, no, looking at his house from the lake.
Oh, from the lake,
It's
to
on
the
the
right.
it's on the left.
If
If
you're
you're on
at
the road,
We've
It's
had
on the
problems there before.
No,
no.
No,
No?
not at all.
No.
That's the other house.
That's
that's
the
the new,
other
that's the
The new
new,
development.
the new modular house.
Yeah.
Which still doesn't have, still doesn't.
That's the Luco residence.
Yep.
So our options is always either do a after-the-fact filing, if she chooses to keep.
What's gonna prevent those stones from, when the drawdown goes from it,
Oh,
from
you-
them
you-
falling
you
farther into
will.
the lake?
Yeah, well, that's why you don't usually do a project like that. You
So she
remove.
wants to build that?
No, it's
wall?
already done.
It's already
It's
done.
already done.
Look
So
at the
the
last
last-
picture.
Yeah, the last
And she
page
used the
shows,
stone that was there?
there's no
No,
stones there.
she bought them and then she filled it in. If you look at the
Go to the
last
last
picture,
page.
you can see that she finished the very last one. Yep. She started, I sent the letter, she stopped, she started filing and she chose to not file, and then I got another
So
complaint.
this is the position it's in now? This is-
Yes, it's finished, yeah.
She didn't do a whole lot.
Well, there was nothing to begin with. She started putting there, but those were not there.
Yeah, so it's just a wooden
It was just
retaining
a
wall,
wooden retaining wall,
and she put the other,
which usually people just file for the permit, remove the wooden retaining wall, and then put the riprap
yeah.
to hold the bank.
Last page.
So what she did,
You wanna do after the fact NOI?
what she did, she placed the stones to hold the retaining wall.
Right, but what's holding the stones from when
It's finished.
wave action and we do the drawdown from them sliding down?
Huh?
And then,
Eventually, we will slide it down.
Do you think she's doing NOI after the fact?
Yeah, I think so. Is it the NOI after the fact, or will she have an enforcement order to remove the stones? She needs some type of documentation to
do something.
work in the area,
Probably the intent after the fact.
because she's already done.
We don't want to take enough stuff out of there now.
You can't do it now, I couldn't do it now, it's a drawdown. It's not sort of taking it off,
This
it's
is
just.
the way it is
I-
now. That's the way it is when it's done.
Better now than it did before.
the slope of the,
In the narrows is
and then
pretty-
narrows is kinda, well, I'll try to bust, be clear, I'll try to bust the cojones, but, so that slope is on like other parts of Leneco, it's a little steeper. You know, and we're concerned when the drawdown comes, and then they start to move down, and the waves come, I'm not a
Well, apparently
building
she
guy,
thought she
but
was
you
doing-
wanna, whatever she does, you wanna make sure those rocks
She wasn't doing anything
Stay
too
there,
bad.
that's the only thing.
So she's not planning on doing any more.
Oh, she finished, yeah.
Finished.
Which is an NOI after the fact.
Make her file an intent after the fact. That would be my motion.
I agree with that.
Okay, so I need the motion.
I need a motion.
Motion made.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Old and new business. No disturb, no build zone policy discussion and vote.
For who was
If
not-
anybody hasn't read the copy of what it is, it's right up here. If you want to get it, take a look at it before
Jay,
the
it's over
questions
here.
start popping out.
It's open for discussion. Who was not here present last meeting? I had a request to draft a policy. The commission had some concerns. I tried to address them on this new draft, and we're open to discussion. Oh, thank you.
Does anybody on the board have anything to say?
Yeah, just a couple things, I guess.
Yeah.
This
Can I
pol-
have
This policy applies to all applications after the 25th,
Yes.
even pre-existing.
No,
No.
that's the exception.
There is
Number three.
a number 3 there that does not apply, any existing, that's what you asked, right? Wasn't that the commission's concern, that it will not apply for any existing?
Yeah.
Okay, I tried to, that is there.
I wish we had had this yesterday,
Yeah.
so we could have had
I
a
was-
chance
I
to read
was
it
too-
and
Yeah, and that's fine, and if you're
digest
not,
it.
if you're not ready to vote, and that's fine, I was, again, it's a long week, and I was trying to implement all your requests.
I don't think I'm ready to vote on it yet,
Within
but
the
I'd like to hear
regulation, yeah.
what the public has to say.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the time.
it's pretty straightforward, and the language is from the regulations, so, take your time, and I don't know if the public has any
One of the
questions.
Well, I
problems
give it
that I
a couple
do,
of seconds. Some of these guys just grab the copies,
Yeah.
let them read it first, and then
Yeah,
they may have questions, they may not.
we can carry on,
one of the problems I have
just a
is
draft.
if someone happens to buy a new waterfront lot, I'm just using that for an example,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to put a wharf in, or a dock in, or a retaining wall, or a beach area, they can't do it. Unless we go, and I guess if they can prove that's not going to be a detriment, I guess we could let them do it properly.
Correct.
properly.
That's in there too.
That's in there.
That's in
That's,
there.
No, I
I
know,
tried
but
to
I wanna-
address that, yeah.
So,
And a retaining wall can be approved because it's there to actually, to protect the bank from eroding, so I don't think retaining walls are
let's see
concerns,
what the public
yeah.
has to say.
for lakefront properties. That's not really the retaining walls that were concerned, I believe, the commission. Like, the retaining walls from property front lake areas are important to prevent erosion from the bank,
But
yeah.
then it has to be exempt, but we can't exempt, I guess, but
There is,
There's-
there is,
yeah.
it's there. Yeah,
The integrity.
that's why I say, I haven't had a chance to read it.
It's the integrity.
Yeah.
It's number 4.
Say, okay, somebody's putting a dock on a lake,
Yeah,
you know that that's okay.
Yeah. yeah.
Yeah.
I try to pick all the commission's concerns and add it.
What about cutting, keeping it opened up?
Yeah, is there anything about keeping the brush cut down on your property, or?
Or disturbed?
Brush removal, vegetation removal, that is under our, like, tree removal policy. That's, unless you're really
Clear cutting.
clear cutting, it's not part of this. We just approved an RDA for brushing, removing, tree removal. We'll still go through the RDA process.
Anybody in the audience have comments?
Seems like it does a good job of addressing like lakefront property and stuff like that, because that's really not what this is for.
Right, I think the
It's
spirit,
incorporated
the
in-
spirit of the commission, of the policy, based on what the commission's view has always been in this town, is not denying applications and keeping people from, building. So I try to incorporate all that in here. If I have missed anything, or that you don't agree with something, again, it's a draft. Can be changed.
Rob?
Sir, your name, please.
Joe Robert Lemansky. Right here is good?
You can sit here if you like. That way we can hear you.
Thank you. Good evening. Robert Lemansky, Sunset Drive, Charlton. Can I have a little background of what motivated the definition to be changed?
Basically, all the towns have it. Most of this came from Webster, Oxford has it, Auburn has it,
Dudley,
Sturbridge?
Sturbridge has it.
it's a protection.
Has what, an additional,
Yes, yeah.
so instead of a wetland definition to where I call up my soil analysis, says identify the wetlands, it's gonna come and put the flags down, and after this, we're gonna add 12 feet to it.
Correct.
Correct.
What happened to where we now need this new protection?
It wasn't being conserved.
We had developers trying to build things very close to wetlands.
And disturbing the wetlands,
Well,
yeah.
you're, am I to respond to the audience, or?
No, not at all. That, you know, this is a
They ha-
discussion.
it's a
This isn't
discussion. They
you know,
have the right
This isn't a
to-
town
yeah.
meeting, this is a discussion.
Okay.
So they're answering your concerns just as well as we can answer them.
If we do nothing, Rob, the 100-foot is there, that's a state.
The state. So now we're gonna, so now with the additional town rule, it'll be 100.
Regulation, I guess it would be, right?
No,
It's a
you can't
policy.
add the
Huh?
112
It's a
feet.
policy.
That's not correct to say.
No.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The identifying of the delineation of a wetland is we're gonna take that delineation and then add 12 feet to it.
No, we're subtracting 12 feet from it.
From the actual wetland.
I think,
You're allowed to go in.
so,
So it's not 100 feet, if this is the wetland,
No, forget it, I misspoke about the
Sure.
100 feet. Wetland is a wetland, so if the wetland is identified, then what this bylaw will do is take that delineation and add 12 feet to it.
from the wetland, not the,
within the 100
Might not have
feet.
border
Never
vegetated.
mind 100 feet.
It
It'll
would be 88 feet instead of 100 feet.
Yep.
So you'd have to stay 12 feet
The
away from the
BVW would be
wetland.
88 feet.
So- which is a no-touch zone.
No touch zone, no,
Which
you lose
before,
12 feet of your
It was
property.
100.
Before
So
could do
you
it.
lose 12 feet of your property.
So, and again, I say again, can the board, the commission, point to specific instances to where something like this would have helped?
I don't think we want to get into that name and names.
Oh, no, not name, but.
No, that would, you know, then
Well-
we're looking like we're doing something that we shouldn't be doing. And not that
Yeah, I guess, has.
we're just
been-
trying to protect the wetlands a little bit more than what they're being protected.
Oh, so they're not protected enough?
In some instances, no.
well, that's a, I mean, that's just a philosophical judgment. That's an open-ended question, that's an open-ended question.
That's an opinion.
It's
Whether
a
there be
philosophical
protection or
question.
not.
Again, what's it off?
And did you read the whole thing?
And I did, I didn't have the time. I
Okay, well,
glanced at it.
maybe the best thing to do would take a few minutes and read it all, and maybe your questions will be answered.
Okay.
I think that'd be the best thing, Rob.
I think we all need to read it.
All right?
They read it.
And it tells you what you can do, what you can't do, and how you can go about it.
I'm the type of individual that's fine, if law is the law, we respect the law. But I don't think we need more things told to us of what we can't do. Yeah, I remember reading, this was in Title V, very similar, is as far as what you have to do and areas that you need to protect. And the actual, the state came out and said, look, instead of adding more regulation, but Board of Health, like you people, you can add regulations, just have a public meeting and you add regulations. Says, why don't you just enforce the ones that are already on the books? Because the ones that are already on the books are sufficient enough in order to give the protection that is needed. And,
Right now, my understanding is you can build right up to the wetlands.
Sure.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yep.
So we're just
And
trying to
disturb
keep
it.
12 feet away from the building of the, and that's, there's an exception to every rule. If you read the whole thing,
Right.
you'd understand it.
But I say to the commission, you know that when people come in front of you and you look at the plan, because there's always a plan, and you see the building right on the line, there's usually a discussion saying, wait a minute, we think this is just too close, because you have to get around the building, you've gotta be able to, if you have a
That's
lawnmower
why
or
we just
whatever.
did the 12 feet.
And this ensures that
Because
discussion.
there's no teeth, just, you can have a discussion all day long, but without a
Yeah.
bylaw, they can challenge it and say, the heck with you, you don't have nothing on the books, we're gonna build right up.
My suggestion again, is
Okay.
read the whole thing.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
It also saves your guys' time, having to say, okay, go back and change it, there's already a 12-foot marker, right?
Yeah.
Instead of negotiating and spending a town meeting or two going over
Well-
these things.
I actually need time to read it myself, I haven't read it, so.
Well, we don't have to vote on this tonight,
No.
correct? Or do you,
It's up to the commission.
well, he hasn't read it. I don't know if everybody else has read the whole thing. I would think that we, you know.
It's a draft.
Yeah, another 2 weeks would not kill anybody.
So this doesn't extend the buffer zone, or does it?
So
extend it?
I drove over here, so this is your border vegetated wetland that was flagged.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wetlands are probably here somewhere, this is the border vegetated wetland. You're gonna have a 12-foot buffer, no disturb here, within the 100 feet. So the commission has the restriction to condition anything within the 100 feet. So we're not adding 12 feet after 100 feet, we're adding
So
within
it's
the
not
100 feet.
112 feet?
No.
No.
It's an additional,
No, we
80.
don't have authority to do that. We have authority to condition anything within the 100 feet per regulation.
Is there anybody else out there?
So you can only use 80 feet in the
88.
88.
100 foot.
Take a second to read it,
Yeah.
okay? The best thing. Does anybody else have any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris McClure.
Hi, Chris.
Could you come up here, sir, and please present your name?
Yes. So, and I've heard a couple different words thrown about, and one is a no-bill policy, and somebody else just said said bylaw. So is this a bylaw or is this a policy?
It's just a policy.
It's just a policy.
Right.
Did you read the thing?
I did, but then somebody said bylaw.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference. I mean, I think everybody
Yeah.
needs to know that. Policy is just a policy. And
Yeah.
Right.
really, if we have applicants and, you know, as an professional engineer, we're gonna have applicants come in front of the board and they're gonna look at this and say, well, it's a policy. What is actually policy? I guess it just means that the commission, I just wanna hear from the commission is that we're looking to provide for more protection within reason. But this doesn't really have anything that the town has voted on. It's not considered a bylaw. It's not something that would
Correct,
be
100%, right.
100% regulated, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted,
And even with the policy,
what,
if the applicant can show us good cause,
Mm-hmm,
why it should be.
it's in there,
Yeah.
right,
I did catch that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Which there will be instance for safety.
Anybody else have any questions?
But someone's gonna beat me to it.
Do you have your name, sir?
Sure, Dan Proudy, 134 Partridge Hill Road. And my only comment is.
Can you use the mic?
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't speak as loud as I used to. My only comment is, I just read a book by Neil Gorsuch, you know, Justice of the Supreme Court. And the name of the book was Overruled. And, you know, how these policies upon policies and policies, you know, and, you know, today we have a common sense rule. But, you know, 5 or 10 years from now, you know, the policies change, you know. But, you know, all I'm saying is, I've got to read it a little more. I'm not making a comment, I'm making a comment just about the book I read. I'm done with it, be happy to leave it for the commission, but,
I'd like to read it.
yeah, I mean, so, but nationwide, all these policies, and then they grow. And I went through 3 projects in the last 4 years in Sturbridge, and combined, they cost my 3 applicants over $300,000. And I know, because that's what they have. They have bylaws and policies in Sturbridge, 100-foot buffer zone, no touch, 100-foot, 200-foot buffer
Bylaws,
zone.
and they have
Yeah.
bylaws.
You have to, yeah, that's actually a bylaw. You have to go for an order of conditions. You can't cross an intermittent stream, you've gotta protect 10 feet. So I don't know if you've been by there, but on the parcel I sold, one of them, along 149, there's a freezer building, distribution center. They had to they couldn't touch the banks because they're sacred in Sturbridge. The bridge cost $600,000. So when we were going through the permitting, and the builder was from Georgia, I said, you know, you agreed to this. But I said, if you don't get all your permits and you walk, you can bury it in a $46 million building. But if my next customer is a $5 million building, I can't do that. So basically, you know, these are things, you know, you stumble across. I mean, this isn't Sturbridge, I hope it doesn't become Sturbridge, but just a few comments I wanted to make, that's all.
I tend to believe, Dan, that this board probably has a little more common sense than the Sturbridge board.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I want to make one other comment. I had one of the things you voted on tonight was mine. And I went in and I met Rose, and she told me how to do it. And I thank you for that, because I'm racing time for a little barn I want to build. And I'm trying to beat winter conditions. So thank you very much for taking care of that.
Thank you.
And I will leave the book. I don't need it back. You can put it on that case after.
Any comments? Because this is a draft, if there's anything, Jay.
Yeah, I just have one thing.
Yeah.
You know, the second page was talking about if you were to, you know, rebuttal
Yep,
go through the process of, you know, being within the 12 feet.
yep,
Just one section on there, number 3.
yep.
The requirement of a wildlife habitat evaluation. That seems to be.
That seems a little excessive.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, it's very limited on who even in the area can perform those.
Right, right.
Very,
The
very
reason
limited.
it was put it there was probably if, like, usually lakefront areas, but I don't see any other place we do a,
With the wildlife, just a question for you. With the wildlife, just to make sure we don't, hypothetically, I'm not a
Endangered
wetland
species or
scientist,
whatever.
I admit it, but making sure, like, if there's, whatever, turtle habitat, salamander habitat, is that why that would be in there?
That would be covered under natural.
that would be covered over natural.
Okay, well, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Well, usually you're required to do that if you're disturbing like over 50 feet of bank or.
Right,
or something
which
like that.
usually would be like in a lake. Usually we see that on lakes,
Yeah.
wall repairs or things
So
like
on
that.
an actual, just on a DPW, it seems
It seems, I agree with that, yeah.
So it'd be easy to determine just by looking at the soil chemistry and the vegetation.
Well, it's more on wildlife.
It's more, yeah.
This is the one concern is the wildlife habitat.
Right, but I'm just asking, I'm sorry, maybe make that clear, if you remove the wildlife, you'd be able to tell just by the vegetation and the soil, right, if it was still within the 12 feet, right?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I don't mind removing that if the commission's okay.
Anybody else have any comments?
Anything else?
Thank you, Jim, just one more time. My family just finished developing and building a new 5,000 square foot building on Route 20. As you're coming down the hill, just after Mr. McClaw's building on the right. Post Road Veterinarian is now in there. And we have a rather tight situation as far as the very back, because there's right along the back property line was a wetland, and it was it's an intermittent stream that's back there, probably may run in the depths of High Spring. And I know that in order for us to do what we needed to do to bring the building up, we had to bring material in, but in order to make sure that we had a clear cutoff and a rise in elevation, we ended up putting in some concrete blocks, I think there were, it was a total of 36 inches. And they're close to where the line.
They're on 1 foot. 1 foot.
It's 1 foot. Yeah. Read the safe or out. Okay, so we were safe. So if this is passed, then that situation, we would have been out, and we would have had to add 10 or 12 feet of, well, no, not 10, or be 12 feet of no touch. So we would have to take the blocks that we had put a foot away, we'd now have to put them 11 more feet away. And thus, that's increasing, because we do have a slope, it would increase the amount of blocks that we would need. Then also would change the application from just going 36 inches. As soon as you go over 48, then you need a structural engineer to do that. And the thing is as I'm reading this thing, the cost keeps on going up and up and up. And, you know, if you look at development today, how many mom and pop places are there out there? It's either all national brands or you know, you're out of the game. Just because of all of the, and I'm not calling this red tape, but all of the rules, and the rules are there for a reason. I haven't heard any reasons why we now need more rules, but, and again, if the commission decides this is what's in the best interest of the town, and so be it. But I just want to say is that what you're doing is you're just adding more and more expense.
But you hit the nail on the head, the best interest of the town.
Sure, yeah, just
And
like.
you live in town,
I live in town.
and probably every person sitting here lives in town.
Yeah, and also is, my new pet peeve is, and initially it was a great idea, the stretch code. The state says, you people in your towns, you should adopt the stretch code. So it went on the town floor, sure, we'll have the stretch code, and the state gave us more money. Now it's getting to be with the stretch code, you can't build a new home with propane. You can't have propane in the building, you can't have a propane heater. It's now that my insulation guy came up to me, we just finished doing a house at the end of the summer on Blood Road, and the permit we had was for 12 months ago. He said, I want to tell you, if you build a house with the new stretch code, the insulation, add $20,000. Also, what they want, and Mitch, you may be aware of this, in general, they now want you to do a 2x8 wall.
That's what I heard.
And the
Can
2x8
I ask real
wall-
quick how this pertains to this?
It's up to here, it's up to here
Yeah,
with
but
more
does
and
it-
more
how does that
regulations.
pertain to
I'm
this
making the
policy?
point that this is just adding to the pile to where it gets frustrating, and what it does is it inhibits the ability for regular people in order to do
It
projects.
doesn't, if you read the whole thing, it doesn't.
No, it does, it
No, it
does,
doesn't.
because when we read the way we go through the exemptions here, what's it gonna cost to have the, you know, a wildlife
We
No,
just
we
removed
just took that out.
evaluation?
We just
that.
removed that.
We just took that out.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, so.
It is here to be
So it is
discussed.
admitted that there are things in here that might have gone overboard.
That's why they're discussing.
That's why we're discussing
And
it.
the thing is how much more arbitrary can you get? Now, number 4, the description of the nature of any public or ecological benefits which may arise from the proposed activity. Look, everyone's different. What may be a benefit to you might not be a benefit to me, and vice versa. That's why I say is, let's live with what we have on the books and go from there. And if something comes up to where it's so detrimental, then act on it. Act on it from the point of view is, you somehow, some way need to stop what's going on. But, again, thank you for your
I
time.
think that
Can I have
if
your name,
you
please,
are-
young lady?
I'm sorry, Ashley Briscoe, 32L Stevens Road in Charlton. I think as somebody, because this would only go into effect if you voted on it today forward, right? So anything new would be coming up. If somebody went out and said, hey, I wanna build a house, or I wanna buy a property to build a business, a veterinary business, now they have to look at the property, and they have to say, okay, you know what? I don't have a lot of space by the wetland, it's gonna cost me a lot of money to build that. That becomes part of the factor. So it's not just everybody had, you bought that property and now this law goes into effect. You're exempt from that, right? This is going forward, so everybody has to look at it, plan accordingly, do their due diligence. And mostly to protect the wildlife that we have around us in Charlton. I think we can all agree that the beauty of Charlton is the fact that we are not seeing high rises and developments, we can see woods, we have a lot of lakes, we have a lot of wooded areas. And I think it's wonderful that we can protect them in some small way, so that we're not putting a retaining wall away from a resource area. Because that shouldn't be a good thing. We shouldn't promote that. We shouldn't give anybody the reason to build within a 12-foot area, and anybody going forward will have to do their due diligence on their property if they want to build a business.
I know that, looking back at the property that was the Lemanskis just,
Can you speak up?
the property that the Lemanskis just completed over there on Route 20. If this was in place, that property that generates $6,500 a year to the town of Charlton, plus the benefit of the people who go there, it wouldn't be there. It wouldn't be there. And then, when you go to the assessor's office and say, hey, look, I can't build on this, they're gonna say, no, it's still worth $150,000, and you've gotta be paying your $1,400 or $1,500 a year on the property. So, it's not as if it's that easy as you've gotta make a business decision, either it works or doesn't work. Because you're taking people's sometimes retirement. I know there's a piece just down the street. It's got wetlands involved, that the owner now has it for sale, and he's been waiting for someone to come along. And then what this does, it just takes a potential buyer and just moves them away. So what it does, you're creating more obstacles for someone to go forward. And I wish the taxes in town would go down, but I don't see that happening.
Well, circular reasoning back there.
The only way that they could go down is if more building comes in, but that usually has not helped it in the past. So,
I mean, we have a million dilapidated buildings right around, along Route 20, that nobody, there's commercial signs available all over Route 20. And now people wanna come in and take down areas that were all wooded. There's already available land.
Let's,
Like,
yeah,
For sale though?
yeah.
yes. You see the one right across the street from CVS? Next to McClure where that big building is, there's a commercial sign there. There was a commercial sign down the road that just sold the old storage shed. The mill, I don't know if that's, what's going on with that, but there's another commercial thing right on the corner, down the road by the, CrossFit. There's all this commercial land available.
When you say available, you're just saying because there's a sign on it?
Yeah.
It's available if someone wants to
Purchase it.
pay for it, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying why isn't it taking place?
You're saying, like, there's no places to build except to knock down all these things. There's tons of
No,
places to build.
I didn't say that, that there's no places to build.
You're saying it's discouraging.
Can we
Well,
move on? All right, okay,
Right.
please.
Okay.
Okay, and did you read this good?
I.
You didn't, I know you didn't. Okay, well,
Okay,
go down to the bottom and read it again.
I've got the general idea.
All right.
And again, Barbara, I'm sorry, Tommy. I'd be down there throwing the tea off the boat in Boston Harbor, okay? It's just.
No, you wouldn't, you'd fall in.
And I wouldn't drown, okay? But, it's
All
just.
right, we're gonna move on, all right?
I beg you, more doesn't make it better,
Thank you, Rob.
yeah.
Duly noted.
So
All right,
So
does
we
anybody
will-
else have anything to say about it?
We don't need to, we can just move it to the next meeting, right?
Just one quick question, please.
Yeah.
Why don't we call that 12 feet section like a warning track, okay? And then, if, depending upon the terrain or whatever, okay, that's just a warning that when you get that close, we're gonna look at it. Maybe that's what this says, and we're gonna give
That's
it
kind of pretty
extra
much
consideration,
the
but not
spirit,
like,
yeah.
No touch scares me.
Yeah.
So, and
Well-
then this young lady about all the land, right? I've got 90 acres that I've owned since 1986. I think it's diagonal across from CVS, right? 3 projects got lost because it took, you want a supermarket in town, you had Hannaford's, you had Lowe's, you had a movie theater, you had Kohl's. 3 years that a previous town planner, he spent a whole year fighting about, mundane things. So then, the project closed in 2008 because they started, the meltdown. I picked up the paper to read a quote between the building inspector and the town planner saying they were gonna sue me because I didn't do the project. So that's why when I see things that take, a little more time, I'm on the back 9, okay? You know what that is, when you play golf, you go at the front, and in the back. I'm on the back 9, my partner's 87, I'm 74, and we've owned that property since 1986. So just because there's a lot of vacant property, it takes a year, sometimes 3 years to go through the permitting process. I rest my case.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
MS4 demonstration stormwater,
Anything else? Done?
he was the only one, so
Okay,
moving
so
on.
we'll move it to give you time for more comments to the
Move to
next
10:09.
meeting?
Yep.
Okay. This was in front of us, I brought in front of the commission at last meeting, and I had a resident from South Charlton Reservoir concerned that residents have not been notified by the,
Lakes and Ponds Committee?
yeah, or no, the South Charlton Reservoir
Good.
Association.
Okay.
Yep. So after research, a deeds research, I did not find anything on the deeds that states that the town must be notifying them under his request, and I did let him know that. Again, this is a town project to comply with the MS4 permit that we have. We're gonna be redoing the boat ramp.
I remember this.
Yep, if you wanna
Yep.
pass around. Just adding some more, removing the stones that's there now and adding some new stones and planting some trees. That's the
So they
extent of
actually
the
have, like,
project.
pads like we do, like Glen Echo does, or is it cement or?
Cement.
Okay.
Yep.
Is cement like tiles?
Tiles,
Kinda like
yeah.
we,
So the question is, if we would, the commission voted to consider it as a maintenance under stormwater, or if the commission would require the filing of a notice of intent.
So essentially, we're minimizing.
We're minimizing runoff
erosion
into the lake.
lake.
Yeah.
What's your recommendation?
Well, we have allowed dam repairs being done under maintenance without filing a whole permit. That is just a small swell that we're trying to implement more check dams
So we do
within
it
it.
under a negative determination?
No, we can just do under maintenance,
Okay.
or we can file full notice of intent.
So they wanna put stone through there.
Well, it's already there,
It's
so.
already there.
the-
Is
the-
it,
the-
is it
you already
stone, or
exist.
riprap, or?
They're riprap, but you know, the sediments that comes down the
Cleaning
roads
it up.
is just so, it's DPW will be doing the work, we're removing all that sediments, we'll remove all the riprap, we'll be placing new ones,
do it
but
as maintenance.
with the check dam, so it would not run into the lake directly.
I would recommend we do it as maintenance.
The commission, yeah.
Do we need a
It's a
vote on it?
one-day work during the drawdown, got there in the morning, done in the afternoon.
Anybody have any different opinions?
If you have any other different.
Anybody in the audience have any opinions? All right,
Do we need a motion?
Robert
We need a
Boulevard.
motion, yeah.
Okay.
I just need a motion
I make,
to allow the project to.
Okay, I need a motion to allow the project to
maintenance.
continue under maintenance.
Second.
I made the motion second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Robert Boulevard.
Oh, this is
No,
it.
that was Robert Boulevard.
That is
Oh.
Robert's
Oh,
Boulevard,
that, okay.
Daniels Road.
I just
Okay,
get,
that's the
yeah.
whole thing, I see it, it got,
Yeah.
emphasis between it. Certificate of compliance,
It came-
DEP,
It's okay, Tom.
I know, I'm getting old. 128-1751, 83 Daniels Road.
Yeah, it just came after, we posted agenda, just a single, actually, no, not single family home, this was just, a patio and, what are these called, those?
Pergolas?
Yes, the what? Sunroom? No, it's not, it's only a sunroom if it's enclosed, yeah. It was the
Enclosed deck or
pergola,
something?
The pergolas?
pergolas, yes.
So we need a motion. to-
Is it pergola
certificate.
or pergola?
I don't know.
Pergola.
I think it's
Anyways.
pergola.
Pagoda.
Anyways, so we can get out of here.
Anyways,
Make a
it has
motion?
been completed, so
Okay.
I need a motion for a complete certificate.
Motion for a
Correct.
Make a
complete
motion.
certificate.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? The ayes have it.
Tomato, tomato,
Yeah.
Signage?
I need a motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Buena Vista.
Thank you.